Most passengers think airplanes are simple machines. Wings, engines, seats, done. But the truth is far more surprising. Modern jets are loaded with hidden safety systems you walk past every time you fly. Tiny details, small markings, odd panels, hooks, spirals, bolts, lights, all designed to quietly save your life. Airlines never point them out. Most travelers never notice them. But today, you will. And after this video, you'll never board a plane the same way again. Look closely at almost any jet engine. You'll see a white spiral painted right in the center. It looks decorative, but it's actually a life-saving warning. When the engine spins, that swirl turns into a high-speed blur. Ground crews see it instantly. It tells them, "Stay back. The engine is running." The suction zone is powerful enough to pull a person in within seconds. That tiny spiral prevents deadly accidents every year. Above the wing exits, there's a small yellow hook most passengers never notice. It's not cosmetic. It's part of your evacuation system. In a water landing, ropes attach to these hooks. They guide passengers safely off the wing. Without the ropes, wet metal becomes a slide straight into open water. That little hook becomes your lifeline. Right at the bottom of every aircraft door is a shiny metal bar. That's the Girt bar. If the door is armed, the Girt bar locks the slide to the airplane. No bar, no slide. In an evacuation, it ensures the slide inflates, stays attached, and can actually carry your weight. One small metal bar makes the entire system possible. Most passengers think slides are just for getting off fast, but in a ditching, they become full survival rafts. They detach from the plane. They float. They include survival gear, water, flares, and repair kits. They're essentially emergency boats with built-in shelters. It's a system you hope you never need, but you'd be grateful is there. If the cabin fills with smoke, you won't see the exit signs above you. You won't even see your hands. That's why the floor lights exist. They glow bright through smoke. They guide you directly to the exits. Studies show they cut evacuation time by nearly a third. In a fire, seconds matter. Those lights save lives. The bright yellow straps on your life vest aren't random. They're designed for visibility during aerial rescue. Search helicopters look for those reflective strips. They stand out in waves, rain, and low light. In open water, visibility is survival. Those straps help rescuers find you fast. So, passengers get oxygen masks, right? But crew members, well, they get something much more powerful. Industrial smoke hoods. These provide an extended oxygen supply, and they actually filter toxic fumes too. They keep crew conscious during cabin fires, which is super important. These hoods let flight attendants keep fighting a fire even when, honestly, passengers can't. If the crew can't breathe, nobody gets out. So these hoods, they really do protect everyone on board. Lithium battery fires are, one of aviation's biggest modern threats. That's why nowadays, many cargo holds use fireproof containers. These containers smother flames and starve fires of oxygen. They're also designed to contain explosions and battery runaway events. It's a safety system most passengers never see, yet it protects every single flight with electronics on board. The reinforced cockpit door isn't just for security, you know. It also has a built-in pressure seal. This protects pilots during rapid decompression and actually buys them crucial time to descend safely. It keeps the cockpit stable when the cabin just isn't. It's a hidden system that, honestly, protects the people flying the aircraft. So some aircraft wings actually have these small black markings printed near the flaps. They're called flood marks. Basically, they show where the wing can safely support weight during a ditching. Rescue crews look for them, and passengers rely on them without even knowing it. They're simple, subtle, and honestly pretty critical. Hidden above the cockpit window is a rope that, well, most passengers never know exists. If fire blocks the cabin or the cockpit door jams, pilots can escape through the window. They just tie off the rope, climb out, and get to safety. It's a last resort feature, but it has saved lives. When the wheels touch down, a computer, not the pilot, applies the brakes first. It calculates the exact amount of pressure needed. It prevents skids, prevents drift, and prevents runway overruns in bad weather. Perfect timing, perfect consistency. A hidden system you never feel, but always rely on. Buried inside the belly of the plane is one of aviation's greatest backup systems, the ram air turbine, called the RAT. If all engines fail, if all electrical systems shut down, if the aircraft goes completely dark, a small propeller drops into the airflow. It spins, generates emergency power, and gives the pilots just enough control to land safely. A tiny device that has saved multiple flights. Under every passenger seat are heavy metal hooks. They lock the seat legs into the floor rails. In a violent landing, these hooks stop seats from collapsing forward. They prevent a domino chain of injuries. You never notice them, but they're engineered to protect you in the worst-case scenario. Airplanes look simple from the outside, but they're full of hidden details that quietly protect you. Spirals, hooks, lights, seals, hoods, brakes, ropes, backup turbines. Every flight you've ever taken has relied on them. Now you know the secrets most travelers miss, and you'll never see a plane the same way again.
Imagine you're wedging into 34A, convinced you've seen every inch of the cabin. Unbeknownst to you, one passenger, no headphones, no drink, no overhead bag, might be the Federal Air Marshal. And that roar you hear right after touchdown? It's not just the tires, it's a secret mechanism that helps the plane stay in one piece. Today, we're yanking open the curtain on that secret and 14 others the gate agent will never mention. Air marshals love the back rows. Aisle, opposite sides, always the last to board. They skip the in-flight Chardonnay, never nap, and read the safety card like it's the season finale. If you spot someone who looks wide awake while everyone else is scrolling Instagram, congrats! You may have found one. Airlines won't tell you which flight has them, but the pattern's as predictable as pretzels in coach. Those yellow masks don't plug into scuba tanks. Yank the cord and you ignite a chemical oxygen generator. Picture a tiny campfire that cranks out 12 minutes of O2. It gets hot enough to brand a marshmallow, which is why the demo says help yourself first. Flight attendants don't want you grabbing a blazing mask. Look up at the overhead bin. See that groove running underneath? Flight attendants grab it like a subway pole when the ride gets bumpy. You can too. No announcement, no sign. Just reach up next time the captain forgets to warn you about a rogue cloud. So, you know that stiff outer armrest on the aisle seat? If you run your finger under the plastic, you'll feel a tiny button. Just press it while lifting and voila! The armrest pops up flush with the seat back. That's an instant 3-inch bonus, and honestly, a much cleaner escape route. Funny thing is, the crew never points it out. Most folks just assume it's welded shut. A 350S and 787S actually carry programmable LEDs that can fake a full sunrise to sunset cycle. Airlines have quietly cut jet lag complaints by about 20%, and then they market it as mood lighting. But, tell passengers you're hacking their circadian rhythm with a light bulb and, well, ticket sales tank. Ever need to fit an entire Formula One car or maybe a wind turbine blade? The 747 freighter can hinge its nose upward, kind of like a dinosaur yawning. Passenger airlines don't advertise it, because honestly, nobody wants to explain why your emotional support grand piano can't come through the front door. Ever feel that roar right after the wheels touch down? That isn't just the tires, it's the engine braking the plane. Huge panels on the jet engine slide open, blocking the normal airflow and redirecting the thrust forward to slow the aircraft down. It's called thrust reversal, and it helps a 500,000-pound machine decelerate safely. They don't mention it in the safety card because the idea of engines working the wrong way on purpose can be unnerving. Despite the name, flight data recorders are painted hot orange so rescue crews can spot them in wreckage. Each one laughs at 3,400 Gs, 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit for an hour, and 30 days underwater. Invincible orange crash-proof capsule just doesn't fit on the label. Airplane tires hit 170 miles per hour on touchdown haul 500,000 pounds and still last up to 400 landings. They're laced with aluminum powder to zap static electricity. Mechanics swap them like changing shoes, but most of us think they're the same rubber as our Honda Civic. So, that tiny dot in the middle pane, well, it actually equalizes pressure so the outer pane doesn't, turn into confetti at 35,000 feet. Without it, every flight could pop like a shaken soda. Airlines usually skip the detail because honestly, explosive decompression isn't exactly the best in-flight movie. Yep, your plane has a horn. Used only on the ground, and it honestly sounds like a grumpy tugboat. Pilots press it to warn baggage carts, not to honk at the 747 hogging the taxiway. You'll never hear it unless you're standing by the fence at sunrise, just kind of wondering why the jet just beeped at a fuel truck. On long-haul flights, have you ever wondered where the crew disappears to? They're definitely not crammed in a jump seat. On planes like the Boeing 777 and 787, there's a secret staircase hidden behind an unmarked door that leads to a tiny, windowless bedroom. Up there, you'll find between 6 and 10 cramped bunks for the crew to sleep in shifts. Airlines keep these Narnia-style closets off the passenger tour. It's a perk they'd really rather you didn't know you were missing. Hey, have you ever noticed the ashtray in the lavatory, even on a brand new plane? It's honestly like the final boss of confusing rules. Smoking is totally illegal, but the FAA actually mandates that ashtrays must be there. The reason's pretty simple. They know some people will break the rule and, well, they'd rather a lawbreaker stub out their illegal cigarette safely than toss it in the paper-filled trash can and accidentally start a fire. That lavatory door. It's really not as private as you might think. Flight attendants can unlock it from the outside in an emergency, just so you know. There's a tiny switch hidden right under the metal lavatory plaque on the door. If you flip it up, it reveals a little mechanism to slide the lock open. It's there in case a passenger has a medical issue or gets stuck. But honestly, the crew isn't exactly keen on advertising the fact that your private business has a secret entrance. Behind the cockpit door, pilots actually have access to a crash axe. It's an FAA requirement on many planes, just in case of emergencies. Its job isn't really about fending off sky pirates or anything wild like that, but to help cut through panels in case of an electrical fire, or to create an escape route if the exit is blocked. Airlines don't exactly put axe on board in the brochure, and for some obvious and slightly terrifying reasons. So there you go. Air Marshal's oxygen campfires, secret handrails, stealth armrest buttons, LED mind hacks, dinosaur nose freighters, engines that brake in reverse orange black boxes, superhero tires, a horn you'll never hear mid-flight, secret bedrooms, confusing ashtrays, bathroom back doors, and a cockpit axe. Which one are you walking straight to the galley to test next time? Drop it in the comments, send this to the anxious flyer in your group chat, and hit subscribe. Next week we're explaining why airplane coffee tastes like it was brewed in a gym sock.